We're here today with author Jo Fordell Higgins. She is the author of the recently published book, Images of America, Woodridge, published by Arcadia Publishing. She is a retired teacher with a master's degree in elementary education from Northern Illinois University. She is also an internationally published author, award-winning photographer, historian, and essayist. She was named a YWCA Woman of Distinction in 2004 and a Compassion Foundation Community Champion in 2012. She was also named Illinois Volunteer of the Week on April 12, 2021 by the Office of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Welcome.
Hello.
May I call you Jo?
Yes.
Why don't we begin with where you're from?
I grew up in Peoria and graduated from the Academy of Our Lady and then went to college, and I've been in Aurora since 1971.
Tell us a little bit about your education.
Well, I went to Northern Illinois for undergrad, and then I went back for a master's degree in elementary education.
So were you an educator?
It's about 40 years, and I only look 40, so young at heart. My first class was St. Mary's in Sycamore, and then I taught at St. Cecilia's in Peoria and St. Philomena's, and started a kindergarten class with Annunciation School in Aurora. And my last 20 years, though, was at Waubonsie Community College. I trained the volunteers in the adult literacy program, and I taught freshman English.
So when did you start writing?
Well, I've been writing since I was 8 years old. I had a little journal and I wrote poetry. But more seriously, when we had our bicentennial, Aurora GAR sponsored a essay contest on the bicentennial. So I went upstairs and I read some history, and I thought, I'm going to write my essay on the vantage point of Thomas Jefferson's chair. So that's what I did. The whole essay was from that vantage point of the chair, and it took first place, excuse me, in a $100 savings bond. So at that point, I knew I could write, so we went from there.
So has history always been an interest of yours?
Yes, and my father's too.
Any particular kind of history that you're interested in?
I like all kinds of, I just finished a book that was very interesting of the mother of Leonardo da Vinci. I don't know how much of that is true. I'm going to have to research Leonardo now, because I don't know how much, poetic license was taken to write that, but it was a very compelling history, and how Florence, rose and declined and then came back, and it's a wonderful story.
Could you tell us a little bit about your first book?
My first book was in 2001, and it was the history of Naperville with Mayor George Prado. Probably some of your viewers will know of Mayor George Prado. He was fabulous. And then I did Geneva, I did DeKalb, I did one on Aurora, I did one on Montgomery, I did a second one on Aurora, and I did a second one on Naperville, and now Woodridge is the 8th title.
From the same publisher,
Arcadia Publishing. Arcadia is our largest publisher in our country for local history. So I got the first approval contract January 23rd of 2001. And they gave me until May 1st to finish the book. So I had February, March, and April to write that book. And to this day, it's my bestseller.
Where did the idea for this book, Images of America, Woodridge, begin? How did it come about?
There was a Chuck Seidel on Facebook, and he contacted me and asked about my Naperville title. So I answered once. And Mayor Bill was a good friend of Chuck, and he happened to see my answer. And so Mayor Bill contacted me and said, would you consider writing the history of Woodridge? So we were off to the races. It's just, I've heard and read that we meet the people we're destined to meet in life. And so this, on one post, this all came to be.
Of all of the stories you write about Woodridge, if you had to pick one, what would be your favorite story?
Well, one of my favorites is when I met with Dana Morey, who is CEO of Morey Corporation. I think they have, what, 400 million in sales or something, and they decided to come to Woodridge for their new headquarters. And so John Perry was in his position at that point, and he said to Dana Mori, is there anything we can do? Because there were other places, you know, in competition for this headquarters. And John Perry said, is there anything we can do to make sure that we get, you know, that you locate here? And Dana Mori replied, well, we'd like the street that we're building on to be Maury Boulevard. The next morning, John Perry had this, and it's in the book, he had the sign for them, and Woodridge got the headquarters.
Are there any other stories or experiences that you had as you were writing this book that you would like to share with the citizens of Woodridge?
The people of Woodridge have been phenomenal, absolutely outstanding. There wasn't a person I met who couldn't give me everything I needed and, you know, introduce me to other people, and it's just been a marvelous experience.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Woodridge Village Hall. On behalf of Mayor Cunningham and the Board of Trustees, we extend a very, very warm welcome here and to celebrate a special moment in Woodridge history, and that is the recording and the publishing of our rich community's history. And so we're so excited about having Jo Higgins here, the project she's been working diligently on over the last year. Whenever I'm asked to make some prepared remarks or do a public presentation, I remember to follow the sage-like advice of our 32nd President, Franklin Roosevelt. And as the story goes, as I understand, his son was preparing for a public speaking event. And so he was nervous, he had some butterflies, and he asked his father's, my dad was probably one of the greatest orators of the day, very talented public speaker. Just went to his dad and said, Dad, I'm really nervous about this speech I've got coming up, and wonder if you could give me some advice. He said, well, son, the audience is going to love you if you follow the 2 B's. It's very, very simple, the 2 B's. So a little puzzled, yet still excited about learning what this advice is. And son, the 2 B's are be seated, be brief, and be seated. And so I'm going to follow that same advice, that my audience comes away loving me, that I had never extend my welcome here at this podium. So we welcome you again to Woodridge, and we're so excited about the opportunity to celebrate our community's rich history this morning. And I'd like to introduce you now to the Woodridge Police Department's honor guard.
Present, home!
I'll make the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, halt! Peace! Forward, march!
is our honor to introduce Father Norbert Rogea from St. Scholastic Parish to do our invocation today. Father Norbert.
Lord, we ask you to be with us this morning as we gather here in the village of Woodridge. We pray always to remain grateful for the citizens who have helped establish and shape Woodridge, while keeping in mind the opportunities we had to still assist our fellow citizens to build our community. We are grateful for those who took the opportunity to help us to remember our history while looking toward the future. May we and future generations continue to build Woodridge. Lord, help us to continue to strive to make the world a better place, starting in our own backyard, the village of Woodridge.
And again, thank you, Father Norbert, for the wonderful words. I'd like to invite our very dear friend, and most of us know Woodridge Mayor Emeritus William F. Murphy, or Bill, Mayor Bill to most of us. Bill is going to say some remarks and introduction for our wonderful author today. Bill? We have to give him applause because
One can always sit down for former mayors, because he wants to sit down too pretty soon. It's my pleasure this morning to share a few thoughts and be able to introduce our esteemed author. Neighbors Helping Neighbors has been a term appropriately reflecting on our community's response to the tornado. A response led by our wonderful Mayor Jamie Cunningham-Piecyk, Village Administrator Al Stanich, staff, Public Works Department, Police Department, and literally hundreds, thousands of Woodridge residents and non-residents coming together to help those in need. But this Woodridge history reveals that Neighbors Helping Neighbors has been a hallmark of our community since 1959, when 500 Neighbors Helping Neighbors voted to form the community of Woodridge. Our first mayor was Mayor Leon Wirch, who this boardroom is named after. We were fortunate that he was still with us for many years after his service as mayor, and as a member of the Community High School District 99 Board of Education. He would often come to celebrations in the community. Celebrations where we were celebrating additional businesses in the community, new residential area, and new facilities. And he would always comment that what was taking place was building on their dreams of those neighbors helping neighbors in 1959. This book proudly echoes building on our dreams. Joel Fidel Higgins is an internationally published writer, poet, winning photographer, teacher, and historian. The History of Woodridge is her 17th book, the 8th title with Arcadia Publishing. And she's also a renowned author of children's books. She's a retired teacher from Waubonsie Community College. She grew up in Peoria, where she attended and graduated from the Academy of Our Lady and received a master's and bachelor's degree from Northern Illinois University. She's been honored by many organizations, including the YWCA, who named her as a Woman of Distinction. The Compassion Foundation named her a Community Champion Award. The Kiwanis named her a God and Fellow Man Award. And Governor Fitzger in 2021 named her as a Volunteer of the Week. I noticed one day that my friend, Chuck Seidel, a former principal of Edgewood School, who is no longer with us, had a friend, Joel Fidel Higgins. And I saw that she wrote community histories and children's books. So I contacted her, and with the blessings of Mayor Gina and Administrator Adel, now just about a year and 4 months ago, she went forward with this book. It's my pleasure today to introduce to you the author of the Woodridge history, who has come to know Woodridge as a special, loving, giving, and caring community. And we, in turn, the many people in Woodridge that have worked with her, have come to know her as a kind and giving person. She has captured in this history Mayor Wirch's 63 years of building on our dreams. She is the voice of Woodridge. Please join with me in welcoming a warm Woodridge Neighbors Helping Neighbors welcome to our author, Joe Higgins Friedel. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor Gina, Mayor Bill. Listen, do you hear the July wind whistling through the old oaks before Woodridge was incorporated in 1959? Is that better? Did you hear me at all? Yeah. Okay. Listen, do you hear the joyous sounds of the residents as they celebrate this morning? We have come together for a joyous occasion as we celebrate the history of the village of Woodridge. It would be easy to mention over 100 people who contributed to this book, but soon you will read all their names. To mention, however, the High Honorable Mayor Emeritus William Murphy, who was the wind beneath my wings. To Mayor Gina Cunningham, and to George at the library, and to Jim at the police department, to the Rotarians and the members of the VFW, and to all I say thank you. The people of Woodridge have been gracious, friendly, accommodating, helpful, and lovely. They are the best. I was talking to Jim at the police department one morning, and I happened to say I haven't met a crabby person yet. A policeman was at the door, and he said, "Oh, we have them," he said. But they didn't cross my path. It's been truly wonderful. A year ago, this book was a dream. Today, we hold in our hands this dream realized, accomplished. In the coat President Abraham Lincoln wore the night of his assassination, which was made by Brooks Brothers, inside sewn were these words: one country, one destiny. Today, let us rephrase that to one village, one destiny. A poet wrote, with words as soft as feathers, she wrote in shades of light. Her words alive with morning sun and sparkling moon at night. With words as soft as feathers, she wrote in shades of light. And then she let her colors free and let her words take flight. Is Chief Keith here this morning? Yes. Please come up. Since the book cover shows the Fire Brigade of 1910, I would like Fire Chief Keith to join me as I present him with a signed copy, as he epitomizes the best of all that preceded him.
Oh, geez. That's cool. Thank you very much. Oh, I you know what? Put me on the spot here, didn't you? You know, all the wonderful things that you just said about community, destiny, and village, and caring, helping, is in essence what the fire service is all about. It was about people that started, that wanted to help neighbors and help their friends and their families in time of need. And truly, from the fire service perspective and the police perspective, is, you know, we do our job is to make a difference in people's lives, to help them in their worst times. And hopefully, over the time, we've seen the village and the way it comes together and works together. We've played just a little small part in the growth and the development and the history of such a great community. And thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention our Chief of Police. Could you please stand, and we can thank you for the beautiful rendition of
a special day in Woodridge, and thank you so much for being part of it today. So we welcome everyone. We're so happy to see you, and as I look around the room, I want to recognize everyone, so I hope I have a chance to speak with each of you, because it's been a while since we've been able to get together. But I welcome everyone and our distinguished guests and family and friends and neighbors. Thank you again for being here. And Joe, of course, thank you for this wonderful gift to Woodridge and our community. Mayor Murphy, John Perry, I see you in the back there, John. Welcome. I could keep going on, and I will for just a moment. Special thanks to Al and Leslie from the village. Anytime we do an undertaking such as this, one comes from our heart. We want you to know how special this is, and that we're so thankful that you share it with us. And I'm going to paraphrase from something I read right from the Arcadia Publishing information that they put out. So it is said, local historians, AKA our local writers, poets, and photographers, are truly some of the community's most valuable assets. I would say invaluable. For they are willing to devote countless hours in researching, scouring the depths of our libraries, delving and digging deep, inspired to meet everyone they can, all of our neighbors, our businesses, just wanting to hear a little something and to glean one or two things from every single person, and probably way more than that. All because of their devoted passion and expertise in telling a very important story, and to share their perfect words that truly captures our community and all of us. And during this time, Joe Friedel Higgins captured our heart. So today is all about saying thank you to Joe, celebrating today for a person's community, where we're from, where you grew up, or where you call home, often plays a big role throughout our lives. It's our backdrop for some of life's most significant milestones and memories. It's our personal story, that which we carry with us and share whenever we can. And it's truly something bigger, as it's more about our place, our town, our past, and our part of small town America. It's a part of the big picture and living in this great country, the country we know and we love and we call home. We thank you so much, Joe Friedel Higgins, for being dedicated, an incredible, inspiring friend to all of us in Woodridge. Your spirit of kindness, genuine care, passion, and compassion, your warm and incredible heart, and finesse, I have to add that on, has touched all of us. We thank you for writing our history, along with all those who have helped you along the way on this wonderful journey. There's so many people that helped in preparing Joe for this. The list is long, but each person plays a special part, as each person in this room has played a special part. So, along with you, I'm very excited. I just got my own copy. Thank you, Joe, and I just bought a few more, but I'm very excited to read this. And so excited for all of us to take with us a little bit of our history and share it. It's so important. Now I would like to invite Joe up to the podium here with me, if you don't mind. We're going to divert off our program for just a moment. And Mayor Bill, if you wouldn't mind joining me as well. We have a little special presentation. I don't need to catch anyone off guard, but I do apologize, but sometimes you just have to do it. So, I speak on behalf of Woodridge, on this inaugural book signing, dedication, and celebration, along with all of our neighbors and everyone here today, are honored and grateful for you and your incredible gifts in writing and sharing our history. So Joe, on behalf of and in the spirit of Woodridge, in friendship, gratitude, and admiration, we are honoring you with the key to the city, the Village of Woodridge. There's only, I think, 2 other people in the room that have ever received that, and this would be Mayor Bill and our Village Administrator Emeritus, John Perry, who's out in the hallway. Yes. going to ask Mayor Bill if he wouldn't mind, I'll pick that up. If you would help me by giving that to Joe. And we're trying to finagle all this and hiding stuff, so I apologize. There's a lot back here. So again, on behalf and in the spirit of Woodridge, the warm spirit of Woodridge, in friendship and gratitude and admiration, we are honored to bestow a special gift to you, Joe, the keys to the village of Woodridge, and also to our grateful hearts. We are gifting this on the 30th day of July, 2022, and I wrote down two things that I thought were maybe inspired by you. One was on the bottom of our program today, the quote that says, "I write because I must. It's not a choice or a pastime. It's an unyielding calling and my passion." That is by Elizabeth Reyes, but I think it truly captures Joe, as well as, for every secret of a writer's soul, every experience of your life, every quality of your mind is written large in your words. And we are so thankful to Virginia Woolf for saying that, and to Joe Friedel Higgins for gifting us this beautiful book about our town that we love so much. So, Bill, I'm going to pass it.
And the beautiful plaque which I will present on behalf of the community of Woodridge and Mayor Gina reads, "The key to the village of Woodridge presented to Joe Friedel Higgins for helpfully capturing the spirit and history of Woodridge." Well deserved.
Thank you, it's very large. Thank you. And you know, because you're here, we're having an ice cream social. We would love if everyone could join us to please come out and have some ice cream, as well as Joe is so happy to sign your books for you and personalize them, and we can't thank her enough and everyone here today. Thank all the photographers that are here, our village photographer, and so much more. Jim Hoff, I see he's here today. Thank you everyone so much. We hope that many, many books are shared today, and that your words go far. They touched our hearts, so thank you so much.